Hello, my name is Brett Bendistis, and this is a video lecture on statutory Blue Book citations entitled the Statute Citation Challenge. Right? This is where I will try to show how easy it is to cite statutes under the Blue Book form in just 3 minutes. Now, before getting into timing, which I have my trusty iPhone right here, I just want to point out one very quick thing. When it comes to Blue Book citations, we are just going to be covering how to cite them out of the Blue Book. Okay, there are certain jurisdictions, and Lexis Advance and Lexis actually use a different citation form than what's referenced specifically in the Blue Book. Okay, that seems like a little tricky, right? Why is it like that? For every time you cite a statute, you just have to be a little careful that you're double checking the citation rules to make sure that's there. Okay, so we're going to cover just how to cite any Blue Book any citation out of the Blue Book for any jurisdiction. However, just again, double check before you get into it, right? So before we get started, let's check the timer. 3 minutes and a go. Okay, before we get too far, I want to go over our Blue Book citation rules one more time. 1, open your Blue Book. Just have it out in front of you. It takes 2 seconds to make sure everything's there, to make sure everything's fine. You don't need to memorize anything, and when in doubt, double check your answers against examples provided in class and in the Blue Book. If you have to cite something, right? That'll happen from time to time. Make sure that you have examples handy to make sure everything's there. Okay, and then finally, all Blue Book citations must be accurate. That's the rule we abide by. Statute citation forms. Jurisdiction is super key. Okay, so the pages that the jurisdiction start is very important. Let's do this for right now. Let's say we're citing this jurisdiction of Delaware, specifically Title 25, Section 5141. Now, when you see here the jurisdiction is key, the first thing you want to do is open to the specific start of your jurisdiction. If we're talking about Delaware law, that's a state, clearly. So we're going to turn first to page 248. We're all going to do this together, right? We're having a blast. Again, if you don't have your Blue Book in front of you, I don't know what you're doing. What's the point, right? So just make sure you have it in front of you till you go there. If you turn to page 248, you're going to see Alabama first. Okay, then you see Alaska, then you see Arkansas. So it's going to be one of those things where everything is in alphabetical order. If we want to cite Delaware, we're going to turn to page 256 in the 20th version. What you're going to see here in the boldface is Supreme Court, Court of Chancery, Superior Court. These are the state jurisdictions that we covered for the primary case law that goes over the reporter and the abbreviation of the court. If you continue to go down, you're going to see statutory compilations, cite to Del Code and therein. Here's how easy Blue Book citations are. You see Delaware Code annotated beneath there. If you're using Lexis, use that one. Using the West, use the one beneath it. You'll see Del Code and TITX, Section X, and then year. Okay? All you have to do is fill in the X's and fill in the years. I know, it seems crazy that it would be that easy, but that's all you have to do. So if you have something that's a 2014 version, 255141, that's all it is. It's nothing too crazy. It's just making sure you include the X's where they need to be. Now, Brett, you might say, what if I have a state that isn't that easy? What if they have crazy other variations? Well, let's go to Georgia. So if we're going to Georgia just in the Blue Book and not in real life, we're going to page 259, right? You go to statutory compilations and you're seeing the official code of Georgia annotated, and it's GA code AN X-X-X. Now that looks a little bit different than what the Delaware Code looks like. So you might say to yourself, well, then the plan is foiled, right? We have some other kind of problem. But noting the fact that the way Delaware Code annotated statutes are referenced are with the XXX. That's how they appear in the code. That's how they'll appear on Lexis. So you don't need to do a whole lot of extra evaluation or computation or really anything. It really is just one of those things where get the numbers, fill them in, right? Finally, we have the federal code. So if we go back, the federal code starts on page 233, all right? That deals with a lot of courts, but if we go to page 233 and then we scroll all the way over to 236, once again, statutory compilations, all you have to do is check which one you're looking at, right? Let's say we are looking at the code annotated. We need the title, the section, and the year, and there we go. Right? So nothing too crazy here. This is not something where you have to do a lot of evaluation or make things up. Just know where the title is, know where the section is, and fill in those X's, and you're totally fine. Right? It really comes down to detail. Like, for example, if you've noticed that this video was longer than 3 minutes and I never set my cell phone, then maybe you've got the attention for detail that makes this career in Blue Book citations the life for you. Now, I hope you've learned something today. If you like these videos, please check other ones out on YouTube. You can also check out my podcast, which is The Citizen's Guide to the Supreme Court, found on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and everything else. Thank you guys very much, and I'll see you soon.